Welcome to Rugby Heads, powered by the Peak Athletic Club, your ultimate destination for all things rugby. Join us as we dive into the highlights of the past week, break down the biggest moments, and spotlight the players who made it all happen. Whether you're a diehard fan like us or new to the game, Rugby Heads has got you covered. So let's scrum down and engage in some good old-fashioned ruggers chat. My name is Sione, almost forgot my game. My name is Sione, spent most of my playing days on the bench in the Queensland Premier Rugby, and joining me is our Sydney Club Rugby correspondent and Northern Suburbs Club captain, Alex Ironside. And to make our show 100% legend, he played pro in pretty much every continent in the world. He puts the pro in protagonists on this show. Please welcome our main character, Mr. Nemani Nandolo.
How you going, boys?
Welcome, boys. First, before we get into the rundown of today's show, how was you're both playing club rugby? How's your games on the weekend? Nems, start with you. How's your games?
Yeah, so down south, we just scraped into the semi-finals. Funny story. So we picked the team. I'd come off the bench. And I thought, okay, as soon as I come off the bench, I thought I'd work on Saturday. Saturday morning, get some extra few cash jobs. Ironside taught me that. And then anyway, 8 o'clock, I'd been fighting for this winger, this Fijian guy, to start wing. Like, he's good. Bit of a hothead, but you put him there, we can get it. Brings me up at 8 o'clock. Oi, Bruss, I can't play, man. I won't name names, but I can't play. I've got someone sick in the family, and I was like, "Oh yeah, set, Bruss, on, relax. I'll have to fill in." So I filled in at 12. Anyway, got to the ground, met up with some other Fijian boys. Hey, how you going? I said, "Oh," he goes, "Oh, where's this?" Oh, I said, "Okay." And then anyway, he's like, "Oh," and I said, "No, he's someone sick in the family." He's like, "No, he's on the piss last night. He's still charging." So, moral of the story. Played 60 minutes. We won, scraped into the finals, and we play Footscray Bulldogs. Oh. So it's going to be a big game. Going to be another PNC sort of match, hit fest, and see who can. Slow game, but there'll be a big slog fest, big hit fest.
Is there a live stream for these games? I want to watch.
Yeah. On Rugby Victoria, they play one game. We're still trying to push to get Stan Sports, get them involved. But
I'm sure it's finals times. I'm sure the Rugby Victoria will have it. We'll share the link as well. I'll be on Footscray's bandwagon since I used to live in Footscray.
But please don't. I won't tell you when it's on, because if I'm playing, I'll be the world's biggest 5'8".
Ironside, how was your game on the weekend?
Not much to report in club rugby in Sydney this weekend, actually.
On to the next topic. One of the great shit days of club rugby for Northern Suburbs. But all great teams into finals, so it doesn't really matter. Didn't really matter, and we'll get them in. We'll get them in the finals.
Is North at risk of missing out on finals in top grade?
Nah, they're about 10 points clear of. Everyone's locked in top six, so
right.
You got to beat them all to get there. And we won the 2016 comp in from 5th place. So who cares? We'll win it from 6th this year. Looks like.
Keep your eyes on club rugby, and we'll get a rundown of today's show. We start off, like always, our player of the week. We give our flowers to the players who stood out for us this week, and then we dive in around the ground, starting off with women's rugby in the Olympics, before we preview the big 2 games in the first round of the Rugby Championship this weekend, and plus NPC over across the ditch, and then viewers' questions and punters' tips is back we'll do a mega multi this weekend. Starting off, Ironside, you want to kick us off with your player of the week?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the women's sevens for the Paris Olympics, and I'm picking someone based off a couple of things, but we're all about growing the game of rugby here, and I don't know if you saw, but the most followed rugby player in the world is now a women's sevens player, and she's a tank beast. Love watching her play. Some good highlights came through. Ione Maher, mate, she just smashed people in the early rounds of that competition. And then, look, I know we'll talk about later, I know the Aussie women got dusted by them, well, not dusted, lost on the bell to them, but if we want rugby to grow, I guess America's another untapped market, and just seeing how well promoted she was and how well she backed it up and played in that comp and got a medal, just great to see.
Yeah, 100%. And Nebs?
Yeah, just reiterating what Ironside said, I think it's great to see someone like herself, particularly from a nation that's not really known for rugby or, one of the tier 1 nations. So, look, I'll be trying to if I was any club over here, I'd be trying to get her over here.
Yeah.
Because she can grow the game. I think her alone is got more followers than Super Rugby and all the Super franchises put together. So, but look, for me, it was Sunnybank number 12. I watched the game they played, Sydney Uni, Queensland Uni.
Yeah.
David Feluai.
Yeah, from one of the Rebels boys.
Yeah. How do you pronounce his name? I just want to get it right. I sound like an Australian then.
Feluai Lene. Or Lene.
Feluai Lene. Yeah, so, Sully, my bad, Sully. I thought he played well. He's from the Rebels, obviously Sunnybank boy, but I've got some raps on him. I think he's gonna, he's one of those players that he could actually play for the Wallabies. I think he's in the squad.
Yeah, he was in the squad.
Was in the squad, yeah. But I thought in a losing team he played really well, and he signed with the Brumbies. So I think his game's only going to go to new heights when he goes to the Brumbies. You know what they're like down there. It's like the Crusaders. There's nothing but rugby. So I'm sure he'll kill it. And so he's my player from the weekend.
Oh, nice. I also had him as one of my backup players. But my player was old boy. We shared a highlight of his last week. Andrew Reddy. He's back at East and he's still bloody got it. He's bullying the kids. He's always breaking that first tackle and set piece is strong. So he said, I ran into him at the Reds game. He said he's done, but he's still, if any Super Rugby clubs are looking for someone, he's still got it in him. So shout out to Andrew Reddy. And in the women's space, I wanted to give it to Alex Cedric, the USA women's player that ran pretty much the whole field, ran through 3 players and scored that winning try. Even when she broke the line, I thought she was going to get caught, but Maddie Levi was about 50 metres away and it still almost got her. But shout out to Alex Cedric, game winner. Break our hearts, but good for the game. Good for the game. And we'll go around the grounds. And speaking of the Olympics, Ironside, what were your thoughts on the women's competition and how it panned out?
Well, I think it's just like another good story. We're talking about, the storylines, but Portia Williams getting her that gold medal again, like just her accolades she's got over her career. I mean, you can't take that away from her. I did think the Kiwi women, the Black Ferns sevens team, they were all over it the whole tournament. I think they were always going to win it. When you saw that from an Australian perspective, I guess 4th place is disappointing, but I mean, that's the thing with an Olympics and any sevens tournament, a bit more than a 15s game. Teams can show up on the day and just either have it or they didn't have it. And felt like they were a little bit unlucky. A few things didn't go their way, but it's especially in that bronze medal match, the biggest heartbreak as an Aussie. Like a bit of commentators' curse went over the commentary as well. I think that they thought we'd won it, and that bit annoyed me the most because I was sitting there going, I'm not superstitious, but when it comes to that stuff, I was like, just shut up. And they broke our hearts. But again, good for the game. I mean, seeing teams and countries that aren't usually known for their rugby to go well is good for the game, especially the women's game. And packed house at the ground as well. It's just everything's looking up, I guess, for rugby, but also women's rugby around the world.
Yeah, same thing. Just to see Portia get her medal. I think she'll probably go down as one of the greatest female, if not greatest All Blacks, players. She's great servant of the game, and it was only fitting. But look, a big shout out I want to give a shout out to Shani Williams. She another big, another servant of the game, and I kind of wanted her to win a medal. I was going for Australia just purely because I wanted her to win a medal. And, she's a legend as well. What she's done for the game, and, she's been tracking and keeping up with the young girls. I thought she deserved a mention. But, New Zealand are just strong, but, we've got I think we probably didn't point this out, but New Zealand have a very, very good program. And yes, the rugby is big there, so it helps that rugby is the number one sport in the nation, but it just goes to show, those guys are full-timers. And I know the Sevens is as well, but it's just I just feel that they're light years ahead in terms of whether it's 15 or sevens, and we saw that. But one thing I wanted to point out, there was this article that came out on the whatever, but they had a go at Kaslik for going out after the loss. Like, mate, if they did that article for every bloody sport, we'd all be criminals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, yeah, she should be, she should be a bit more sad or something. I was like, mate, imagine if they got cameras into our Mad Mondays and our things after the game. It's just silly. They even think, like, and I think the bloke's a rugby journalist, so he should know. But anyway, that really pissed me off. And you know what? People like Kaslik, they've trained 4 years for this sort of stuff. They've had to put themselves through it. So, like, yeah, they didn't win a medal, and, everyone takes it differently. I certainly know a lot of players that I've played with that some of them just, when they've lost games, a final or an important game, it's like, yeah, well, next job. Yeah. So, I kind of, Kaslik, you did what you had to do, and if that's your way of sort of getting over game, mate, cheers, kudos to you. So, hope she had a lot of beers and enjoyed the night.
Yeah, it was good to see all the battlers or all the punters in the comments backing her up, saying, why is this even news? And like, it's a Olympic experience as well. Your Olympics is done. You gotta enjoy it. You gotta celebrate actually being an Olympian. So it's good to everyone backing up. But it also came out that following the USA's bronze medal, that a investor who owns two of the women's soccer teams, pro soccer teams in the US, is investing $4 million into the women's program in USA. They've already got a pro sevens competition that runs through September, October. What do you think, if you were the boss of USA Rugby, 4 years until the next Olympics, which is in LA, where are you spending that money? Increasing the numbers in the program, or just what are your thoughts?
I think even you listen to any sports, like you're watching a lot of the Olympics, athletics, swimming, anything, and it's got an American commentator. What's the thing you hear about them the most talking about is colleges. Like, this is the college that every time you listen to some bloke run, he was Roll Tide at Alabama, and all this stuff. It's annoying as hell, but don't get me wrong, it pisses me off. But that's where I'd be putting the money. I think that they need to grow. If there's 4 years to an Olympics, usually a young women's game, young man's game, invest some of that money into developing like a really good NCAA sevens program, and then build it up from there. I don't necessarily think it needs to go to that. America's got some of the best sporting facilities in the world. I don't think it necessarily needs to go into the top end of it. I think they need to find the middle ground before then they go into grassroots, like younger ages. But 4 years is plenty of time to develop an 18-year-old who's going to be 22, come around the Olympics to be a professional sevens player.
Yeah. They've actually got that collegiate sevens competition that's actually still pretty big in the US. You see a lot of Aussies go over there for a semester or something. But have you seen anything over in the States that they need to invest in?
Yeah, just what Ironside said. I think if they can get into the college system and actually build that up, and that's probably where, like, you'll get the closest thing you'll get to a professional setup, if that makes sense. Like, obviously we've got the MLR there, and I don't think is there a women's MLR? I don't think so.
No, just the sevens. No, yeah, the 15s is getting neglected over there. It's only the sevens, really.
Yeah, so you'd probably want to get into, because then the colleges bring in money as well.
Yeah,
so
true.
I think the next 4 years as well, if you can do something like that, get a program where you've got that NCAA sort of tournament, sevens tournament, and then you're just like, right, you want to play, you want to go to the Olympics, this is the path you're taking. I think they do it for their athletics as well. So, invest in that stuff, college rugby, and then hopefully, you get into the 15s. But I think sevens will probably work really well over there. I think the Americans love that sort of concept of rugby, small, quick, as in like it's short, it's a short game, quick, and, guys can enjoy themselves because that's all it's about, isn't it? It's about a partying and being there and having fun. So, with hindsight, I think get into the college system and then, they grow it from there.
Yeah, you have to get your mates to get us over and peruse our way over the college system as well. And, just a little work trip, boys.
Yeah, of course. Visit Anaheim. I know they'll be watching. So,
next up, our Six Nations, only 4 nations, but it's the Rugby Championship first round, first game, All Blacks versus the Pumas. Ironside, thoughts on how these teams will fare?
I think obviously we do this on a Monday, so it's kind of good because we get to speculate. But mate, I hope Will Jordan starts. I hope that Will Jordan starts and they throw him straight back in the deep end. I saw Artie Sarve as captain as well. I just feel like he's probably going to go that next level again. I think he quite likes that extra added responsibility, but I think it's going to be a tough ask for the Pumas. They didn't look too good against a pretty second-rate French side when they came over. So I think it could be a tough ask. But mate, just really excited to see Will Jordan back and see what Artie can do as captain and what they're going to do without Retallick. I think that's still a big loss. Brody Retallick's a big workhorse for them, and what they're going to do in that front.
Yeah. Obviously, no Scott Barrett as well. He's, he's not involved, and Artie takes over the captaincy. I think I've got a feeling Artie's going to go another level. I think, a lot of what he said about obviously his move to the Moana. A lot of people are sort of doubting that move. A lot of ex-All Blacks as well. So I think, he'll have a bit of a chip on his shoulder to try and not prove, but just say, okay, well, it's kind of like that Michael Jordan sort of feel, isn't it? Like, tell me you can't and I'll prove you wrong sort of thing. So be good to see him in obviously how he'll go with the captaincy. I'd like to also see Will Jordan connect again with Sevu in the back three. But also Parafeta's out and they've brought in I forgot his name. Plummer from the All Blacks. So it'd be interesting to see, like, again, Argentina probably, you'd think that the All Blacks probably have it on. Maybe they give Plummer a crack. I actually kind of thought they'd bring Plummer in the England test and the Fiji test to give him a crack. So, but it's good to see him get rewarded with the All Black call-up. So, but again, you'd probably think they'd go with the usual suspects at 10. With who's it, Mackenzie and Bowden. Yeah. It'll be good to see. Hopefully he'll get some game time. But again, it's going to be a very strong All Blacks team. And with Artie at captain, I think not only him, but everyone around him will rise to another level.
Yeah. So we'll put this in our tips. Do you think Argentina got him in the first game 2 years ago when they did the 2 test series? First 2 games in Rugby Championship years ago, I believe, in New Zealand. Do you think there's an upset on the cards or All Black safe?
No, I don't. I think no. I think the way the All Blacks are going now, they're 3 test matches in. They've had the week off, and I think they'll be humming. They'll want to prove, especially with Razor being the new coach, they'll want to try and win this championship. So, look, I think they're going to be. Yeah, they're going to be. I think they won't lose.
1-12 or 13 plus.
13.
Onside 13 plus or.
If
you don't look confident, mate.
If Barrett starts, it's 13 plus. If Mackenzie starts, it's 1-12. All right.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, because stats do show when he comes on, he turns it on.
We'll put it up to that. We'll wait until they name the team, and then I'll lock that in. And then over here in Brisbane, almost sold out. I think the Wallabies put up a post earlier saying 500 tickets left. First game, the Boks are here. How do you think we're going to fare against the Boks?
First real test, I think, of the Schmidt era. Good to see Marika back. I think he if for mine would have to start, you'd have to start him. I don't think you'd be calling him back not to start him. I think it's going to be a tough test, but I don't know. This is coming from a New South Welshman as well. I think if we could play every Wallabies game in Suncorp, I'd probably play it there. You're right on top of. It's a stadium where you're right on top of everyone. It's going to be a good atmosphere up there. I think there's a lot of standard Australian over-optimism in a new era of anything. And I don't know if it's going to be an upset, but I have a bit more confidence that they're going to go way better than we think they are. I just think they're playing a different style, but it's still a tough ask. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm like Ironside. If they could play every test match in Brisbane, that'd be good. Obviously, Brisbane's a home, really. We get it up there. But anyway, Queensland, they've got a good record at Suncorp.
Yep.
They've got a really good record. The Wallabies seem to do well, better than Sydney. But look, I think with the wins that they've gotten on the last few wins for Wallabies, I think that'd be a big confidence booster for them to go in. The squad's different. Obviously, like Ironside said, you'd think you'd have to pick Marika. I said that. I kind of said that as well, that they sort of struggled a little bit in the outside back, particularly against Georgia, where they got probably exposed there. So to have someone like Marika there with his experience, awesome. But for me, one player that I'd be picking. That's why I'm behind a microphone and not Schmidt, and I'm not a coach, but just the way he's played in Super Rugby for the Brumbies is Luke Raymer.
Raymer, yeah. I was going to ask who you're going to pick for 7 since Fraser's out.
Oh, look, I'd love to start him, but the Brumbies used him so well at Brumbies at Super Rugby. Like every time he came on, like I remember when the Drill played, Drill were doing well. And as soon as he came on, I was just like, shite to this guy. And he does. He's always stealing balls. Like he's just got that extra level of mongrel when he gets on. And I think that's probably the impact that the Wallabies need against a team like the Springboks, because the Springboks, they bring in a whole new team off the bench. But I just like the way he plays. I like the way, particularly off the bench, he brings that extra level. And every time he's come on for the Brumbies, it doesn't look like they'll lose him. Like he'd always be the game break in terms of changing momentum. And I think, man, when I saw his name in the Wallabies squad, I was just like, about time. So I'd love to see him in the 23 this week. I think, again, I'm a big fan of him and, what he does. And the Wallabies need something like that, particularly against, as we all know, the world champions. They don't mess about. They came over last week or a week ago, so they've been here now 10 days. Saw Sia catching up with a few of the boys enjoying the beach down at Gold Coast. So hopefully Quaid's, kept them on the cocktails down there. And but again, the Springboks, they're a team that, I remember Razzie Erasmus said in an article, he goes, usually back in the days, it was like every time we'd go play in the Northern Hemisphere, we didn't know some of the players. Now it's the other way around. We come over here and we don't really know who we're playing against. So, you know what I mean? And, his mind games. But it's a good point, though. It is, because they all play over there now, isn't it? So, but yeah, it'll be a good game. I really hope the Wallabies do well, and, I want them to, for the sake of rugby in this country.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because this episode will be out on Tuesday, and Safa's always put their team out early in the week. So Tuesday usually they put up. It'll be interesting if he actually puts an Aussie team up as well, like he did against Ireland. But who do you think at 7?
I think I'd start Raymer. I just think same with Nems. I mean, he's one of the most well loved sevens in Australian rugby, especially up here in Sydney. Boys love him. It's just the enthusiasm he brings, and I think starting a 7 like him, I don't think he'd be overawed by a test match against the Saffers. I don't think he'd be nervous. I think he'd probably step up and rise to the occasion for that. Excited. I think I'd pick him, and I think I'm just like the right mind games of Razzie and what he's saying. I think that won't eat into the Aussies. It ate into the Irish a bit more, because the Irish like to get a bit hell bent on them not making quarterfinals, but it always comes back to that with them. But I think Raymer, I just think he's so good over the ball, and he's kind of that old school 7 in a way that gets the turnovers, and he's completely different to Fraser, and I'd love to see him start. I also think this will be the first time, probably in a long time. I don't know what team he's going to pick. I don't know what, he's threw out kind of a couple different sides. I'd be interested to see what's come of that, and I think that's another exciting aspect. I think for the last couple of years we've been able to pick a team or have an idea, but even who he's going to start at 10 is another conversation.
And for our tipping purposes, what do you think the score is? Do you think we're going to get the upset against the world champions?
I think it's got to be South Africa, doesn't it? It has to be South Africa. I think if we're betting people's money, South Africa, but I think it's going to be 1-12. I think it's close.
Nah, Wallabies by 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is it just my heart that's saying it, or I actually think we're going to win?
No, I genuinely think I look. I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about, but I think the Wallabies can pull this one off, and if they pull this one off, boy, oh boy, it's going to be one hell of a championship. But I just think at Suncorp, 3 wins on the trot. I'm not commit, but enough for them to. I think Wallabies by 5.
Yeah, but we've got Marika, like you said, Marika's back, and we've got Belly's back in the squad as well. So we could possibly do it here. Nella and Belly in the scrum could that'll be a good scrum battle.
Boys, who's your other winger? This is a question I want to ask. They brought in Corey Toole. They got Jorgensen. So who would you put in the other side?
You got to give it to Lippo. He's proved he's proved that the runs on the last few games and Super Rugby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was interesting to see that they picked so many wingers. But who's your fullback? Jorgo or Wright?
No, you got to
because remember you still got Peach. Dylan Peach can play wing.
Yeah, you got to give Wright, man. He's the best player in Super Rugby, one of the best fullbacks in Super Rugby. You got to give it to him.
I think, like, just thinking of how South Africa play, I reckon they might go Marika at one wing, Dylan Peach the other, purely because he's good over the ball and he used to be a 6, so he's really aggressive.
Yeah, true.
Both aggressive. Marika just dives at anything, really. But yeah, I don't know. That's my pick if they pick wingers, but I could be wrong as always.
I think it's also I don't know what they'll pick. I think it's the whole back line. I think we kind of know what the forward pack's going to be. I just don't think we know what the back line's going to be, and I feel like it'll go off what type of 10 they play. I think if they play Donaldson at 10, then they might play. I don't know. I don't know. I think it all comes down to who they pick at 10.
Yeah.
That's going to define how they pick the 10.
Because Corey Toole, like, he's quick as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and his game is rapid. So it's like, and then they've obviously got rapid wingers as well. So do you fire for fire sort of thing? So it'd be interesting.
Who would you're the pro here. If you were coach of the Wallabies, who would you put on the wings against? They got, it would most likely be Adamsa and Cheslin.
Yeah,
both similar. Who would you put?
I would go with Marika one wing and Dylan Peach, purely because I think on the edge, Peach is good over the ball, and he's quick as well. That's what I'm saying. But then again, you've also got Lippo as well, it'd be a flip of the coin between Peach and Lippo.
You played in the international level, so we can't answer this. But when you're facing one of those sort of wingers like Cheslin and Adamsa, who did you prefer? Like a normal size winger, those little snippy small ones, or a big bopper like you?
Nah, definitely like a medium size. A normal size winger.
Yeah.
I remember playing Cheslin Colby, so he'd just come on the scene at Toulouse, and I was at Montpellier.
Yeah.
And I was marking up against him. Oh, man, he stepped me, looked me in the eye and laughed as he stepped me, and I rolled, like my ankle dug into the ground. But I think there's a video about it. And anyway, he's looked at me in the eye, stepped, and smiled as he's gone past me. So definitely don't want to play against Cheslin.
You had the wrong studs on that day, Nems.
Yeah, I had 21s. But yeah, no, definitely. No, not a Cheslin. Like, I think, but then again, Toole would be good for that sort of thing. Yeah, so, look, it's going to be a physical match. So I think the Wallabies need to be physical in every area from 1 to 15, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that the other guys who are not picked are not physical, but the Springboks bring that physical element that, that the Wallabies are going to have to watch out.
Yep. And on the South African side, one player, who are you watching out for? Who's the one guy you think that's going to have a big game for the Saffers?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Eben Etzebeth.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's going to want to fight someone. Yeah. I swear. I saw him on the plane. When I saw him on the plane, because obviously they, when I saw him, how there was a big photo of them in business class.
Qantas, yeah.
Yeah, it must be nice. Fiji never got that, but anyway, as soon as I saw his face, I was like, him sitting next to C, I was like, fuck me. This guy's on the plane. Couldn't he just stay home?
Yeah.
But I think if he's on, man, and you know him, he doesn't take a backward step. So, like I kept saying, physicality, he's going to bring it. He's got that sort of, Buckus Boita sort of thing.
Yeah.
Element, thing to his game. So, yeah, I think one guy that I'm keen to see and play over this side of the world is Eben. It'll be good to see.
Yeah. Onside, who's one player from this?
Well, that was who I was going to go with, but obviously, naturally, the second player that scares me the most is Sia for sure. I think just how he, I don't think he had the best. I didn't watch enough of it. I don't think it was the greatest season he had club wise, but it's amazing what he can do in that South African jersey, and he's obviously very proud of where he's from, and just how he is around the park. He's same thing. Bit like Etzebeth, he doesn't take it backwards steps, and not in terms of the confrontation, but you watch him play, he doesn't miss tackles, he gets bumped off. Next time he'll make sure he puts a shot on, even in contact, in attack. He might not make the best runs, but he just keeps coming. I would hate to play against him. He's just a bloke that just keeps coming back at you. It doesn't matter if you bump him 4 or 5 times, he's going to get a shot on you late in the game or early in the game. Just that the whole South African forward pack, I think that's a bit that Saffers' backs are obviously outstanding, but they're just so big and mobile, and they've only got to play half that team only has to play about 50 minutes. So, that's the Saffers forward pack in general is the scary part.
Yeah. So I know our hearts are saying Wallabies, but what are we locking in for our punters? Box 1 and 12, or are we just gonna go all out Wallabies 1 and 12?
Yeah, you guys make the final decision because I'm not a punting man, but I'm going to go Wallabies by 5.
Yeah, done. Wallabies 1 to 12. Lock it in.
Hey, fuck.
I'm in,
mate. We got to might as well, mate. Make it tasty for our punters.
Yeah, because if that comes off, my God,
mate,
it should be. Oh, mate, but it will.
Yeah.
Got him, Luke Raymer.
And the next. Pretty much all the other tips for this weekend will be in the NPC, but we'll preview the NPC. We got a few Aussies over there, but who is your player to watch in the NPC this year?
I'm going to go first before Nems might steal him, but I'm going to go with he's had a tough. He's not had as tough a going Australian rugby, but I think this is just going to be such a good opportunity for him. And I think he might suit this style a bit more. But it's Tate Edmund. Playing for North Harbour. I'm really excited to see him go in that type of level of competition. I think he'll excel at it. Feel like he playing with different players, having a few more different options than he might have had this year. I just think it's such a good opportunity. It's a shame we don't have something like this over here, but I feel like more guys should be going over there and playing that type of level. It also helps that Eastwood's not going to make finals in the Shoot Shield, so he probably doesn't feel guilty about being over there. But, I'm looking forward to Tane having a crack over there.
Yeah. And Nems, who's your player to watch?
Yeah, same guy, Tane. I think he really needs to have a season abroad, just to help him out. I think, he probably didn't have the best season at the TARS, but you got to remember too, a lot goes, there's a lot of factors as well. So to have him play New Zealand, it doesn't hurt. I went over there and did wonders for me. So I think, if guys can get over there and experience how they play, he'll be better for it. And I think, with the likes of Bowen at the Waratahs, Jack Bowen, he's got a bit of a contest, but I think it's going to be good for him. He needs a change. Being stuck in Sydney, the big smoke, it's always, always be stuck in a bubble sort of thing. So, like Ironside said, Eastwood aren't in the finals. He's going to get over there. He's going to play against teams like Canterbury, Wellington. These teams are pretty much super players as well. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's just from his development side of things. I think he's going to be great. And who knows, this could be the kickstart he probably needs coming back next year.
Yeah, that's if he does come back. I don't think he's locked in yet. But yeah, do you know if he's part Kiwi? Because I know a lot of the Kiwi Super Rugby clubs are looking for 10s. Do you know if he's part Kiwi?
No, but they can sign him. Yeah. Because you're allowed one foreigner or two foreigners.
Right. Yeah.
Foreigner rule. So he'll be like Debrasini did the same thing, unless he's Kiwi.
Yeah.
So. And myself, because I'm Spanish, part Spanish. So, hola, buenos dias.
Did you play NPC when you were there?
No. I didn't. I went to Japan. Went back to Japan.
Oh right, yeah, money moves.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. But who's bandwagon you jumping on? Ironside? Who's your team? You locking in for the season?
Well, see, I should say North Harbour. That's where he grew up, or I could say Canterbury, but my favourite's always been Waikato. I love Waikato. Honestly, I haven't had a good look at what their squad's looking like, to be honest, but I love the jersey, and I used to love Kano was down there.
Liam Messam.
Yeah, Liam Messam. Sorry, forgot. That's bad. I forgot that.
Aaron Kruger.
I'll cut it out.
Yeah, cut that out. But obviously, looking forward to. Always a big fan of Waikato.
All right, lock in Waikato for you and Nems. Who's?
I'm going for Canterbury.
Canterbury, yeah.
A few old teammates still running around. Crotty, I think, still playing. Joe Moody, John McNichol. Looks like the band's getting back together again.
Yeah.
So, going to go Canterbury. I think, something in the water down there. So, yeah, Canterbury, red and blacks.
All right, and I'll lock in. I'm jumping on the Tasman bandwagon. We've got one of our Hong Kong 10s, Fijian boys, Pak Babas boys, Netani Balesomosomo. He's in
Debo.
the squad. Yeah, Debo. Sexual chocolate.
Yeah, man, he killed it. Man, when you guys played at Hong Kong and I saw him playing with that blonde hair, I was like, man, there's no way we're going to beat these guys.
So, yeah, make sure you tune in on Stan Sports or Sky over in New Zealand. That's not paid, but it can be. All right, and viewers' questions. We've got 3. First one, thoughts on the Aussie teams, on how the Aussie teams will fare next year in Super Rugby now that the Rebels players have been sprinkled throughout the remaining 4 franchises?
Not going to eat too much into what I've said 1,000 times before, but let's make the best of a good bad situation, I guess. But mate, I feel like the Waratahs have gone from being one of the worst teams in Super Rugby this year, and now as a New South Welshman, I've got so much hope, and the players they've bought is probably exactly what they've needed and brought in. I know there's a few more to come. We'll let them sprinkle in as they come through, but mate, just as they were coming in last week, you couldn't wipe a smile off my face. I was so excited, and I just think it just takes that's what we've kind of needed. I don't know if we've had the talent to spread across that many Super Rugby teams, but I'm hoping that makes the games a bit more competitive next year. And the one I'm most sad about, I really wanted him as a Waratah, was Lucan going to the Reds. I saw that. That was my one that got me. But mate, look at the Reds squad now. They were already really good. Now they're stacked. I think that they're the biggest chance on paper this early out from a season for an Australian team to win the comp.
I think Waratahs, like Ironside said, came bottom this year. Next year, got some hope for them. If we can keep guys like Taniela, Tupo, and Leota fit and healthy, I think they'll go well. I think it's a good signing for the Tars, particularly with someone like Simon Raului there. I remember when he was in racing, and he had a big impact on all the Islander boys playing at racing and Stade Francais.
Yeah.
Obviously, he coached there, but he lived in Paris, and everyone used to go to his house. So he really, and obviously, I spent some time with him in the Fiji squad where he can. A lot of people gravitate towards him, particularly the Islander boys. So I think the Waratahs, or the setup at the Waratahs probably, when I was there anyway, but like, hasn't really been that someone to gravitate to in terms of Islanders. And I think some of the, that's probably why they've gone or moved on. So to have him there, I think is going to be great. And then you've obviously McKellar coaching. So I really hope. And then, you got Suali'i coming. So the Tars are going to be good. I think they'll be, mid-table. Yeah. The Reds, again, they've got to be thereabouts. Brumbies, we know what they can bring. But one team for me that's got no excuse now are the Force.
Yeah.
Like the guys that they've signed, they've just signed Nick Dolly, England International, Leicester Tiger, Sale Sharks, Holmes. Didn't Harry go there?
Johnson, Harry Johnson.
Yeah, so he's gone there. They've obviously still got Ben Donaldson, Kurtley Bill still there. Like, they've got guys there that are good enough. And then you've got Carl Tazzano, who's now just been called up into the Force, into the Wallabies. I just don't think there's no excuse with, obviously the coaches is good there. They've got Cron as the coach. So I think the Force don't have an excuse anymore not to be good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we always used to probably forgive them in the past because it's too far to travel maybe, but they've got a good team. Yeah. And I think minus the Rebels and some of the players going over there, mate, they've got to perform. Yeah. They've just, I don't know what it is, but they've got no excuses.
Yeah, it's good that when you touched on Simon and getting all the Islander boys together. I remember when we did the media day when you were at the Tars and we came in and the boy was asking who's the new Wycliffe Palu and Sekopa Kepu, because they were the two that led the club, the Islander Boys Club at the Tars during their golden years. And we're like, Nems, surely he's the new. And so Lenny Sell, he said, mate, he's whiter than he's more Aussie than the Aussie boys.
Yeah, that's why he's in Japan now. So
whoa.
I thought off what Nems was saying, Simon was actually at the Norse lunch a couple of weeks ago, and the way he spoke about how he wants to develop rugby back in New South Wales, he also brought it back to clubland, and I think people forget how much club footy he played in Sydney as well, that he really made an emphasis and made me feel like that's going to be good for next year, unless East takes everyone for their player points. But I'm hoping that all these new guys actually do get sprinkled around all the Shoot Shield clubs, and when they're not in the Wallabies squad, they are playing at the back end of these seasons. The whole player points thing in Sydney is the most boring thing, and I don't really want to get into it on this, but I'm hoping that those clubs like Para can get some guys that Western Sydney 2 Blues and West Harbour, and it's actually an equal spread of talent at the back end of the season, because I think we could touch on it, but getting some decent talent down to those trainings can actually help the players that are already there more than actual results. So yeah, and that's a big part of what he spoke about, which made it exciting for the Waratahs next year.
Rob Leota, I think, has already signed with Randwick from the photos we've been seeing on one of Pac's own stories. He's already got him taking a photo of Coogee Beach. So, yeah, Rob, enjoy Randwick, mate. They don't have a clubhouse.
No one has a clubhouse.
Well, two Blues do.
And South, and you don't want to play for South.
Mate, we're trying to grow the game, and you're telling them not to. Right, I love the Shire. It's in the Shire, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Next question. This is a two-part question. First one, for the Battlers, with Tim Nanai Williams turning out for UQ in the Hospital Cup on the weekend, who is the best big-name pro player you guys have seen come back to Clubland, and any memorable moments?
Still the best one for Norse, and maybe probably one of the best ones in the Shoot Shield in the last probably 10 years was when Angus Tarvell was playing for the Waratahs, and Cronny got him down in 2016, and wasn't just as a prop coming to play Shoot Shield. He was an absolute tank. Every scrum, especially some of those early games where he was playing against teams that weren't going to make that top six, he was eating people in the scrums, and then just around the park. We ended up winning it that year, 2016, and then he's gone on to win a World Cup since then. So, I mean, that was the early development of his, but you notice a real massive boys against men moment when he was playing for us from 2016.
Yeah, my one was Dickie Summer. I played against him. He was at Jeeps. I'm sure he played more games at Jeeps than the Reds would have liked. But I remember first time, because I was at the Stingrays and I was a back rower, so I was always on the wing trying to go back to my wing days, trying to go one-on-one with the wingers. And then one time I got the ball and it was just one-on-one with him. So I usually go try and step out and then just try and bump him and then go around the outside. So I tried to do it, went to bump him, he picked me up, threw me over the sideline.
Did you get up and then just walked home to the car park?
No, you just look down and like, you got a hammy, you pulled a hammy.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, he's the one where you go, okay, yeah, that's another level.
You got me, mate.
Yeah, and the second part was for Nems. So who is the best club player that you've seen that never played pro, and also who is the best player you've ever played against or with?
Okay. At club level, as in best player I've played with at club level,
or you've seen
level?
in club level that never played pro.
And you can't say me, Nems. You can't.
Well, I was going to, besides Ironside, I can't say him, so I'm not allowed to say Ironside. But no, one player for me that played club and probably could have progressed on, and I used to, I hate saying this, I used to sort of envy him in schoolboys. He played really good in schoolboys, fullback. He was part of that Brisbane State High team in 05.
Oh, JT.
Yeah. No. We're not talking about 2015. Bev Takiri. Bev Tungiri. So I grew up with him. We grew up together. He was a gun player. So schoolboys, you know, as part of that State High, they played fullback. Then he went to Randwick, and just his awareness of the game. I probably haven't said this, but I've learned a lot from him growing up and the way he played with his skills and stuff. So, thought Bev Tangiri would be one. He could have went on, but when we both moved to Sydney, I think someone loved it a bit too much.
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably he'll probably get off me on this on our group chat. But Bev was definitely gun player. Had the way he kicked, mate. He could kick like, mate. He had everything. And then
and the second part was the best player you've ever played with or against.
Oh, there's a bit of few. I'll probably have to put up there Richie McCaw and Dan Carter, or DC and Richie.
Just casually.
Oh no, mate. It'd have to be one of those two. Like, just all right. I'll tell you a story. So when I rocked up to the Crusaders, so before me there was. Do you remember Vunibaka and De La Salle? Used to
freak.
So the Crusaders always had the token Fijian guy, and you know, when they came in, they were fresh. They didn't really speak English. And then anyway, so I've walked in. First day, you'd have to do your screening, and then Richie McCaw walks in. And then and obviously the boys look in the mission. I was just like, bruh, I dropped my nuts, and I was like, oh, and then I went from talking. He was like, oh, how you going? How you going, Richie? And I was like, oh, g'day, mate, Namani. And he just went. Anyway, so they were, you know, they did it, and then met Dan Carter and Andy Ellis and stuff, and then they like, you know, when you first meet that awkward bit, that awkward phase, it's like, oh yeah, just learn about him. As soon as everyone got comfortable, they all got up and they were like, mate, we were expecting like this freshie, because we've always had, because they played with Vunimbaka and De La Salle, so they've all
fresh.
We were like, mate, if we had known that you had an Australian accent, we wouldn't have signed you. I was like, oh. So thankfully they judged me on my rugby ability and not my accent, because I probably would have been playing for I'd still be stuck in Japan. So it'd have to be backs, Dan Carter, forwards. Yeah, Richie McCaw.
Yeah, nice. Shit. And outside, who's the best player you've ever played with? No, give him a shout. Who's the best player you've ever played with?
Actually, one guy that the best player I've ever played with that never made it is Nick Duffy. Played 9 for North. I played against Duffy from probably the ages 13 to, and then ended up playing Colts with him. he was the typical like 3 foot nothing year 7 kid that just yelled at you. He's played halfback his whole life. Played Colts, got kicked out of Sydney Uni, came to North halfway back into the Colts season. We almost won the whole thing, and then straight into grade. Played 100 first grade games. Rarely, I don't think he plays any second grade. And Duffy, complete opposite of me. But mate, Duffy just his knack for scoring tries and getting around the park is like unreal. He's moved back home to Orange now, but mate, Duffy loved it a bit too much off the field as well, and he'd be hanging around me. I think hung around me too much. Always the last kind of man standing with me and a few of the other boys, but mate, never really got his opportunity at 9. But mate, one of the great Norsemen, but one of the great shoot players that probably never got to go at the next level.
Yeah, good shout. He would have made it at Sydney Uni. That alumni would have got him in there.
He wasn't allowed to stay there, but that's a story for another day.
Okay, we'll finish off our tips before we go to our shout-outs. We've got the All Blacks locked in. Don't know if it's 13 plus or 1 to 12 yet. We've got the Wallabies locked in for 1 to 12. And then the NPC games, we've got Jacob Ratun Maitanuvuki Nibkins Taranaki versus Hoskins Satutu's Counties. Who are we going?
Were they playing in Naki or Counties?
Naki.
Ooh, I'm going to go Counties. Just because Hoskins there.
Yeah.
New club. They'll all want, all the Islanders will all want to play. They'll all go the next level because Hoskins there. And, they'll get on the carver afterwards.
Yeah, sweet. These is just round 1, so we're just filling ourselves. So we're just going to go for the win and not margins. So we'll go Counties for the win. Next game, Auckland.
Auckland, baby.
Next game, Auckland with Akira Ioane's Auckland versus pretty much who do you choose from the Duplessis Wellington. So this is probably the game of the round. Who are we choosing? And it's in Auckland.
Julian Savier's playing too.
Oh.
Jeez.
Wellington's going to be stacked. Plummer, I'm guessing, is going to be out at All Blacks camp for Auckland.
Yeah.
It's sounding like Wellington. Are we locking in Wellington?
Yeah, Wellington for me.
Yeah, you've got to.
Wellington, lock in Wellington. And then Ryan Crotty's Canterbury versus Richie Asiata, Pac Barbar's Northland. Northland are the battlers of the comp. No-brainer, Canterbury there.
Yeah, Red and Blacks.
And then Jack Strawn's Southland versus George Bowers, Otago. This will be a big game. Southland versus Otago.
Derby.
It's a derby, isn't it? Was it played in Invercargill or in Otago?
Southland.
Oh.
In the Cargill, they roll their R's down there. Got to be the Stags, I reckon.
Yeah, give it to the Stags.
Ooh, controversial. We'll go Stags. I'm sure that's going to be paying high.
One of the great jerseys of NPC. It's one of the great old school jerseys, the Stags jersey.
Yeah, I like their jerseys.
DM me if anyone's got one, I'll buy one.
Maroons. Yeah, I love it.
Lock in Southland. And then we got Quintupaya's Waikato versus Willis Halaholo. He's back from Wales. Willis Halaholo's Bay of Plenty. Waikato, Bay of Plenty.
Waikato for me.
We have to go Waikato. Yeah.
Lock in Waikato. And then second last game, we've got Tane Edmonds, North Harbour versus Falau Whakatava's Hawke's Bay.
Oh, they've got that English guy playing for the English or Welsh guy playing for Hawke's Bay 10. That'd be a good game. But yeah, surely the North Harbour at North Harbour.
Yeah, at North Harbour. All right. Locking in North Harbour. And the last game, another battler team, Manawatu, Isaiah Armstrong Ravula, Fiji's new number 10, or Levi Almuta's Tasman.
Oh, man.
Tasman were gone last year. Unlucky not to make the final, especially Levi.
Well, they've got Finlay Christie back for Tassie. I think Havili's playing.
The two Havili brothers.
Brass. That alone is the ticket, isn't it?
Yeah.
That alone's your worth the entrance, mate.
So lock in the Tasman. Lock in all those picks, and we'll see how the mega multi goes. We'll see if Bowden Barrett is starting or Mackenzie to lock in 13 plus or the 1 to 12. And then shout outs. Onside, kick us off with a shout out for the week.
Yeah, just big quick shout out to the 2014 Super Rugby winners, 10th anniversary, the Wallabies. Just good to see that all over social media this week. I was in year 12 and went to the game. Michael Hooper, alumni of my school, had a great game, and just great to see that all over social media.
Just before we carry on, the memories from that game. Obviously, for the listeners, Nems was playing for the Crusaders in the losing team. What are your memories?
Yeah, we're probably hard done by in the last Craig Joubert. But, Richie was wrongly accused of he actually had the ball. But anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It inspired guys like Ironside and all these other guys come out to, like I said, if they had to just change the channel and watch the league, it'd be playing State of Origin for New South Wales. But he just happened to stumble on that game, and now he's a club legend down at North. But it's worked out well for him. It was a good game. Honestly, it's good, and hopefully for Australia's sake, I hope we can see that again. It's one of these franchises winning it, because Australia needs to win one. And I'm all for it. Hopefully we can come. So yeah, that's all I remember. It happened like 25 years ago, I think, didn't it? 10 years ago. Felt that long ago. I was grade 9 when it came out.
You get a shout out?
It was long ago, because you were looking very skinny in that one.
Oh, mate, how skinny did I look? I showed my wife, and my wife was like, "What happened?" Mate.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And as soon as she said it, I was like, those ones where you suck your stomach in? Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you do?
Mate, I'm still playing first grade down here. Nah. But yeah, she's she keeps watching it a lot more than I have been. So, geez, it's a sign. I better dust the cobwebs off the watt bike in the garage. It's so confusing. So, yeah, well, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah. Your shout
my
out?
shout out. I just want to give a big shout out to all the clubs down here in Melbourne. It's semi-final week. Or through all the grades. First in the first grade, the Harlequins play Powerhouse in the 1 and 2 semi-final. Winner goes through the finals, and then Moorabbin Rams play Footscray. So good luck to all 4 clubs. Our team gets announced. Hopefully we can go one better. But big shout out to all the clubs playing finals down here in Melbourne in the Dwyer Shield.
Yeah, nice. My shout outs to my best friends in the whole wide world, Aussie Sevens girls. We're proud of you. You did us this proud. But my second shout out is to
what did you do wrong this time?
My second shout out, I'm a Melbourne boy and from Footscray, one of the towns I used to live in. So shout out to Footscray Bulldogs. Let's get it done against those bloody Bulls this weekend.
We're playing them this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And we're the Rams, not the Bulls.
Yeah. Moorabbin Bulls. Up the Bulldogs, Footscray Bulldogs. Let's get it. Thanks, boys.
Oh, it's going to be funny.
And guys, make sure you like and subscribe and do all the good stuff. See you next week.
See
Thank you,
ya.
darling.